Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Cherika Brown, of course. We're on another episode of Cherika Be Talking, cause I be talking. And today, y'all, is September 26th. It's exactly a month until I say goodbye to my 20s. I'm turning 30 this year, and I think I've learned a lot along the way. I would say that I can give y'all 20 things that I've learned in my 20s, but honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to come up with all of that off the top of my dome. But one thing I can say is that I do feel a shift in my life coming, and I just feel that it's time for change with every aspect of my life. My 20s was like, I would say, like most people, I played a lot in my 20s, especially in the beginning or whatever. I feel like I was always a person that did things with intentionality, so I was always an intentional person. However, life has never been just so serious to me. Like, even now, with knowing that I'm about to turn 30, I think most people get scared when they're about to turn 30 or enter into a new decade of their life or whatever. But even now, I don't know if people will call it living in la la land, but I just don't feel, I wouldn't say urgency in life, but I don't feel pressure in life. However, I do respect and value my time and everything that I have to offer more. So now, going through everything I've gone through in the last decade, I know when to cut people off much sooner, not waste my time, and just be even more intentional than I was previously about myself. One big lesson that I learned is to just be fearless and do everything with purpose. And I say be fearless and do everything with purpose just because I think a lot that holds people back, especially when you're young, is even if you are cool, it's just the thought of looking cool, being cool, and just worrying about outside voices. Outside voices can't pay your bills. Outside voices can't get you into heaven or put you into a hell. Outside voices literally cannot determine your life, and we're literally on earth temporarily, and we're all going to leave one day, and none of this is going to matter. So I feel like if people just chase after any and everything like more fearlessly, people could be so much further in life, including myself. And I say this as a lesson just because I noticed that there's so many people around me that are just like full of potential, and a lot of people like to say that they don't know like what they're good at, or stick to that one thing. I'm a firm believer in doing everything and just figuring out what you like. Like, we're all trying to figure out things, no matter how young or old or in between you are. So I just feel like try everything, do everything, take a lot of risk. And I literally was just talking to my mama about this, saying how oftentimes people focus so much on like being single and everything in your late 20s and 30s instead of like looking at the glass is half full instead of half empty. A lot of times when you are single and you don't have kids, you can take bigger risks. You can do things that you cannot do if you're in a relationship or if you have a child to feed. So instead of focusing on what you don't have, focus on the benefits of where your life is now. If you have investment money or you have just your paycheck to paycheck, you can literally save those things and decide to open up your dream business or just do anything that you want to do because you only live in life for yourself. You can always get yourself out of a slump. You can always get yourself out of a bad position. But when you bring people into the world that you're accountable for, or you add somebody into your world that y'all kind of trying to build together and be on the same page, that can be much harder than just building yourself. So if you are single or you don't have any children, you're childless, or you don't have many responsibilities, and you are of an age where you have money where you can take a little risk, I encourage anybody to just take the risk, because if you don't do anything, you don't get anywhere. But if you do something and you mess up, nothing beats a failure but a try. And what they don't teach us in school is that you gotta try 100 things just to find out that 99 of them does not work. So you're gonna forever be stagnant in life if you just stay on that same little job, or you stay with that same little dream that you're just doing a bare minimum for, and you're not actually going after it like full force. we all have so much potential in us. And even when you look around you and you see people that, some people are missing a limb, some people don't have a sound mind. When you realize all of the small blessings you have in your life, I think when you practice more gratitude is the biggest lesson, I think, of this entire decade. When you practice gratitude, you would see the good in everything in your life. It's so much more that's good than it is bad. Granted, we're going to go through things in life. We're going to be down for a few days, sometimes months, weeks, or a year. But at the end of the day, when you really ground yourself and get yourself back to reality, you realize that you really live a blessed life. And something as simple as having limbs, having a healthy body, being able to work out is a blessing. Like, a lot of people be like, oh, I hate working out, all this and that. What if you change the trajectory of how you look at things and say, man, I'm so blessed that I have arms and legs that I can even go and work out. I'm so blessed that I'm not in a wheelchair and I wouldn't have to just eat healthy all the time in order to monitor my weight, because I can't get up and work out. I can't move my body. I can't do something about getting weight off of me. And when you just really change your mind, you really change your life. And it's easier said than done, but the key to these things are just waking up every day and doing something small. Like, every day do something small that can get you towards a goal that you have. No matter how small you think your goal is, it's so fulfilling in yourself when you know it's something you wanted to do and you never done it, and you just say, you don't count yourself out because of age or because of race or gender or anything, and you know this one thing that was always on your heart, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna wake up every day for the rest of this year or the rest of this year. Next year I'm gonna track my progress, and I'm gonna see if I just wake up every single day and do one thing towards my goal, how far does it get me? Because yeah, we can say, oh, if you just stick to one thing and just go after that one thing fearlessly, you can't help but to win. But also, we shouldn't get so consumed into like a career or a hobby or just anything in life where we just, because that can be toxic. If you just want that one thing so bad, it can become an idol. It can become an idol to the point that you're chasing something that God never even had planned for you. Whereas if you just look at it as, it's always been a goal of mine, it's always been something that was burning in me, so I'm just gonna do a little something every day. I'm just gonna deposit into that bank account. It's like if you got a savings and you're like, I'm just putting $20 in there every Friday. It's like you're just putting something in there, and then in 10 years you're like, oh man, I never even looked at the balance on this account, and you feel the reward. That's the same thing with goals and dreams. It's like, yeah, you can you can fearlessly go after something and, don't want to be let down by that dream. But also just look at the grand scheme of things. Don't be so hard. Don't take life so serious. And just be like, I'm just going to make daily deposits every day. And slowly but surely you will see progress. We say faith without works is dead. So if you continue having your faith and you know that you're constantly working towards something without beating yourself up about it, you'll be amazed and surprised at the results that you will see. And oftentimes we go wrong because we don't track our progress. So a lot of times you'll beat yourself up thinking you're not making any progress or nothing is working for you. But if you go back and look at where you started and then you look at where you are now, you will see that maybe I am in the same place or the same environment or the same, something is the same, but this is different. I feel different internally. When you feel different internally and you feel like a better person, that's much more progress than things that can look visually or on the outside. So all in all, what I want to say to y'all is that this decade and this chapter has been very good phase in my life. I'm just looking at some of the stuff that's changing in the city. And I thank everybody that was a part of my 20s, those that won't make it to my 30s, that won't make it to my next chapter, those that have been here all along, that has been here from the beginning, of course, like my parents, my siblings, my closest friends. But this whole thing is also just making me look at life as reasons, seasons, lifetime. And I just really look at this like that was a chapter in my life. When I think back on my 20s, when I was looking at all of my previous birthday pictures, the things I did, the people I spent time with, I'm like, wow, it was a good chapter. And that chapter is closing. And I thank God for it. And I'm ready to continue growing and see what God has in store for me. And hopefully you all are doing the same. But y'all know I'll be back because I'll be